ready?
Full board today. Fantastic.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the May 14th, 2019 City of Columbia Board of Zoning Appeals. My name is Chuck Sally, and I serve as chair of the board. And at this time, I'd like to introduce the other board members. To my far left is Josh Speed. Next to Josh, Reggie McKnight. My immediate left is Gene Dinkins. And then to my immediate right is Marcellus Primus. And next to Marcellus, Jenna Stevens and George Schaefer. I would also like to introduce the staff at this time. At the table are Rachel Bailey and Hope Hasty, and also serving as the Land Use Board Coordinator, Andrea Wolf is here as well. This board is charged with hearing applications for special exceptions, variances, and administrative appeals. All testimony is recorded for the record, and anyone wishing to speak will need to be sworn in and come to the podium to speak. No testimony may be taken from the floor. When you come to the podium, please state your name and please speak clearly into the microphone because the meeting is being recorded. Applicants with cases before the board are allotted a presentation time of 10 minutes. This time also includes all persons presenting information on behalf of the applicant. This time limit does not include any questions asked by the board or staff regarding the case. Any member of the public may address the board in intervals of 3 minutes or 5 minutes if a spokesperson for an established body of a group of 3 or more. The applicant then has 5 minutes for rebuttal. The board reserves the right to amend these limits on a case-by-case basis. Those of you who plan to speak must be sworn, so if you're here to speak in any case, please stand at this time and raise your right hand. Do you affirm or attest that the testimony you will give today is the truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you. This time I'd like to turn the meeting over to Ms. Bailey.
Good morning. So the consent agenda is used by the board to approve non-controversial or routine matters by a single motion and vote. If a member of the board or the general public wants to discuss an item on the consent agenda, that item is removed and considered during the regular agenda in the meeting. The board then approves the remaining items. The first item on the consent agenda is the approval of the April 9th, 2019 minutes. Case number 2 for 6420 Garners Ferry Road and lots on Thurston Street. This is a special exception to permit alternative parking surface for a temporary overflow lot. Item number 3, case 2019-0023 for 1801 Sunset Drive, 1809 Sunset, and 1820 Marshall Street. This is a special exception to permit an alternative parking service. And item number 4, case 2019-0024 for 1501 McDuffie Avenue, a variance to the secondary front yard setback requirement. So a member of the board has recused themselves from item number 4, so 2 motions will need to be made on the consent agenda today.
But item 4 is on the regular agenda, right?
Item number 4 is on the consent agenda. That's 1501 McDuffie Avenue.
I have the wrong one. Hadn't been updated yet. Got it. Okay. Just to be clear, that we're getting ready to vote on all of those properties and the minutes of the meeting. So if you would like, anyone in the audience wants that removed from the consent agenda and have discussion about it, speak now or forever hold your peace. Anybody on the board? I'll accept a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda subject to any and all staff comments.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. 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 All opposed?
Is that just for items 1 through 3?
Yes.
Okay. Can that be specified in the motion?
Yes, I'd like to amend my motion, I'd like to make a motion, we approve items 1 through 3 on the consent agenda, subject to any staff comments.
Second.
So the motion's been restated. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
So, and then there'll just need to be a separate motion without Mr. Dinkins for item number 4.
Gotcha. So we'll now, with Mr. Dinkins is recused from voting on this, and I'll accept a motion to vote on item number 4.
Motion to approve number 4.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
$0019 for 2413 Dillon Street. This is a special exception to permit an automotive repair shop. If the applicant would like to come forward, they are welcome to now.
May it please the tribunal, good morning. My name is Shannon Stokes. I'm a little under the weather, I apologize. But I did apply for a special exception under C3. The gentleman to my right is my father, Robert Stokes, and he is actually going to manage the property. He is familiar with the property. I believe he's been knowing about the property for about 40 to 50 years. So if you have specific questions, he will be able to address those. He does have firsthand knowledge of the property.
Good morning.
Morning.
If I don't talk loud enough or talk too loud, I can't hear out of this side, so just tell me to talk up, and I'll be glad to. I was first introduced to this property, 24 Dillon Street, when I was a soldier at Fort Jackson. I had an accident. Boyd Galloway was the owner at the time. They towed my car in and fixed it. Later on, I went to Benedict College, and I was a student there. Had a problem with another car, got it repaired there. Different owner. Then I went to work there while I was a student driving tow truck. So this property has been around. It has had automotive repair, towing, body work for a number of years. It's, the property is fenced in, has adequate storage for cars. They don't have to be parked on the street. They have adequate space inside the building to do repairs. No problem to get 10 to 12 cars inside the building. So there is no problem with working outside or doing anything like that. I would say that from all the experience that I've had with this property, it has been very profitable to the city, the county, and to the resident as a service to the people in the area. And I don't think that it does anything contrary to the neighborhood. It's not a noise problem, not a trash problem or anything like that. Be glad to answer any question.
So it looks like this building is, backs up to or is very close to, is that the Nuttall's?
It's across the street from Nuttall.
Across the street. Okay, across Dillon Street.
Yes.
Didn't see that street. And you stated that all of the repair activities would be inside of the existing structure?
Yes. We did not, when this property came available, I encouraged my daughter to buy it because I knew the history on it. We did not know what the rules were in terms of managing property, but since I'm retired, I will be there to make sure they're in compliance. If they're not in compliance, any tenant that's there will be immediately evicted. It's not gonna be a problem. All the repairs will be made. As soon as I leave here, I will go there and tell them that.
Very good. Any other questions from the board? Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor or against this application in the audience? I see none. I think you did a very thorough job of answering the criteria in your application. I don't really have any further questions about it. I think I understand it perfectly. Any other questions from the board?
Good.
I'll accept a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the special exception to establish an automotive repair facility.
Second.
We have a motion and a second that I would like to request an amendment to that motion that it comply with all of the comments of staff in the application.
Absolutely.
That amendment is accepted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, the next item on the agenda is item number 7. It's 2801 Schoolhouse Road. This is a variance to the sign display surface area and sign height for a non-residential use. There are 2 parts to this request, so just depending on the decision of the board, you can split the motions if need be. So, but it's a variance to the display surface area and also a request to change height. If the applicant's present, they're welcome to come forward.
Good morning. My name is Angela Carter. I am here to represent 2801. My church is First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ. We are new to the neighborhood, and we are really working with the neighborhood and along with Miss Brenda Oliver and the Pinehurst Community Center. One of the things that we have done is we have just recently had, and we've had several what we call outreach. So what we've done just recently on Saturday, we invite the neighborhood, not just those in the neighborhood, but those in the surrounding area to come. We have free food, free clothes, free whatever you might need for your house, for your family, for someone who you may know that's in need. We also give free hot meals. So we have been working in the community to bring the community up, to be a support to the community, to encourage, to whatever we can to work along with the community and along with the Pinehurst Community Council. So we are just excited that we are in the community to help serve. We are excited that so many people have welcomed us in the area. And so we are just trying to build some bridges where we all know that in that neighborhood, as well as several other neighborhoods within the Columbia area, there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of homelessness. We see a lot of children that's going without. So it is incumbent upon us to help our fellow man, to help lift them up, to give a hand, give an encouragement, to give whatever we can to support them and let them know that we're here for them. So we are excited. I have been serving with the Pinehurst Community Council. I think we have a meeting this afternoon, and we're going to talk about the Back to School Bash. I am 37 years. I worked in Richland School District 1, and the Lord is good. I'm retiring in a couple of weeks. So I've been an educator for 37 years, and I'm excited that I'm going to be able to get out in the community and maybe do some teaching, some after-school kind of things. So I'm just excited that we're in the neighborhood. I'm excited that the children are excited that we're here, that we can help in any way possible. Like I said, tutoring, providing activities, providing material for homework, providing material for projects. So many times our children and our parents and our grandparents don't understand how to work, how to perform projects and how to gather material. So I've been excited, and I've been able to encourage grandparents, because grandparents don't know how to do stuff like this. When grandchildren come home, they didn't have that in their school. So I'm just excited that we're here in the neighborhood, and so we just want to be a light. We want to be a beacon of hope to the neighborhood and to work together. It's just so important to work together. So that's my presentation. This is some pictures that we took on Saturday. When people were coming in, they were excited about getting food, they were excited about getting clothes, and so I just took a couple of pictures and wanted to share what we've done on Saturday. And we usually have these kind of outreach projects every 1 to 2 months. So this is an ongoing thing. This is not something that we've done and just stopped. This is probably the 3rd time that we've done this at 2801 Schoolhouse Road. And I think the next one is planned for the 29th of next month. And so I know one of the persons said that they were in need of bus passes. So we want to get some of those things that the community is telling us that they need. So we're just working and just working together and helping each other so we can better the community and better ourselves and learn more about what we need to do as a church to help others. Thank you. Any questions?
Is this going to be a lit sign, the monument, or is it just a wooden sign? What's the materials?
Can you repeat that?
The materials for the monument sign?
The materials will be brick materials, and I think it would have some glass on it as well to protect the writing and some lighting as well.
I guess what I'm trying to say is the sign lit from the inside, or is it an uplit from exterior lighting?
The sign is on the wall of the exterior of the church, the front of the church. That's where, and then we also trying to get a bigger sign on the premises of the church. It's kind of like in the corner.
The monument sign you're talking about?
Yes, sir, the monument sign.
So that's my question. Is that monument sign lit from the inside?
Yes, sir, it will be lit from the inside.
And then the sign on the church, is that also a lit sign, or is that just lit by uplighting?
It is lit by, we have lighting. Right now we have some lighting up, but it's not projecting what we want. So it is lighting that's on the wall of the church, of the front of the wall, the front of the church, if I'm understanding your question.
Right, so the sign itself does not illuminate?
No, sir, not in the way that we want it. We want it to be really illuminated and to really, like I said, show and be a beacon of hope, be a beacon of light. And so we want more lighting and bigger signage.
I have a question for you, Rachel. So this is the total signage on the residential is 40 square feet, and that's including both signs, the one on the building and the monument sign?
Yes, it's 20 square square feet of display surface area per frontage, and this building has 2 frontages, so they could total it to the 40 square feet, and that would apply to the monument and any signage on the building.
Gotcha. Well, is there any questions from the board at this time? Is anyone else in the audience here to speak in favor or against this application? So, I have a few questions on your application, just on the responses, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Can you give her a copy of that?
Okay.
So, the first question is to describe the extraordinary and exceptional conditions, i.e. the size, shape, topography of the property that pertain to the property that would, warrant the special exception, excuse me, the variance. So, I guess just from that, my question there is there, is this signage, visible, or is this going to be, is this adequate for it? Is it because you have 2 street frontages and you want to have one on the side of the building or one sign, as a monument sign that's visible?
Is it visible now?
Right.
Well, sir, we're asking for more signage because we want it to illuminate the wall, and we want it to be bigger, so so it can be seen through, not just throughout the community, but throughout the area. So we want the more signage. We're asking for more signage, so it can illuminate and be bigger, and provide more lighting for what we want.
So a question, again, for staff. What would be the signage in a non-residential area, the requirement there?
It would depend on each district. Some districts allow 150 square feet of display surface area. If you get into the heavy commercial, they allow 300. So it's the residential.
This is about, the residential part of this is what's really restricting her ability to put up what would normally be a...
The residential zoning district,
Right.
they have the smaller.
So that answers number 2, I think, pretty clearly.
We do have the support from the community as well. I did speak to Mrs. Brenda Oliver, who is the president of the Pinehurst Community Council, and she acknowledged and did a type of letter of support in our efforts.
Well, I think that, I think I can see the thread that you're looking at here because of the fact that y'all are in a residential district. It's restricting the size that you can put of your signage. And you are, talking about 2 signs as opposed to 1, which, it's also, I think, appropriate. I think that the signage on the building certainly looks appropriate for the size of the building. It doesn't look to me like it's anything over the top there at all. So I think you look good there, and I think that it's not really a detriment. I don't see it as a detriment to the public good. So I thank you for your presentation. I ask if there's any other questions or comments from the board, and if not, I'll accept a motion.
Well, I have just a couple comments. First, I'd like to say I really appreciate the extent to which you've done outreach to the community.
Thank you.
I think that's been very effective, and oftentimes we have people come in front of us who haven't made that effort, so I want to thank you for doing that. I have a concern relative to criteria number 1 and 3 for this. I really don't feel like the application clearly explains any sort of exceptional conditions that would require larger signage, and I'm also, I don't feel like smaller signage necessarily would prohibit or restrict the utilization of the property in the way that the applicant is saying that they want to use it. So based on just what I'm seeing in the application, I would be compelled to vote no on this.
If I may speak, Mr. Schaefer, what we're here for and what we are trying to do for our church is to illuminate where we are and just let people know that at this spot where you can see what the signage and where you could see our church name and our logo, that will let someone in the community or someone without in the community just know that there's hope there. So we want that to illuminate the city, if you will.
So you're trying to let your light so shine, is what you're saying.
And I mean, and it's not that we can't do what we want to do without it, but we want it to illuminate the area. We want people to see that we're here. If there's someone in need, I mean, we want that to really glow. We are really working hard in our community, and we want that signage. We want that lighting to illuminate. I was thinking about that lighthouse. You know, when you are out on a boat and your boat is reckless and you feel like there's no hope. You feel like there's no one that can trust. You know, you're on this boat and the boat maybe is sinking, and you can see the lighthouse. You can see it's shining and it's illuminating everywhere. So I think about that when I think about people and their lives and their struggles. When they see that light, they know that's a place where I can go and get some help. So to me, that's the part of the illumination. That's a part of the lighthouse for safety and security, for hope, for help, for food. When I'm hungry, I can't feed my children. So for us, I'm passionate about this, I'm sorry. But for us, for me, that illumination it draws people in town, out of town. We're here for the community. And we want to be seen throughout the Columbia area. Not just in the Pinehurst community, but throughout the whole community, the Columbia area. So that's why we're asking for the bigger signage, the more lighting. That's the passion in it. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I think you tell a really compelling narrative, and I wish that was one of the 6 criteria for this, but it doesn't change my view on that the applicant has not met the criteria number 1 and 3 on this application.
So George is exactly right. We are, subject to your request has to be based on the criteria that's presented in the application, and that's what we as the board have to work with. I believe that you do have a legitimate claim for the variance in that you are a church in a residential area that has limited the amount of signage that would be normal for a church. And you're requesting 2 signs, both of which are slightly above what would be the total allowable square footage in that district. And you have approached, the neighbors and neighborhood about this, which I think is important in this case because that's the criteria for the public public good and is important. And so that's, to me, if the neighborhood doesn't feel like that the signage would be injurious to them, then I feel like that takes that criteria. But
to that point, Chuck, I do agree with that. The property was posted in the neighborhood, and the neighbors had, here's your opportunity to come out and speak against this. And not only is there no one here, I don't think there's anyone here to speak against it, we've got a letter of support from Pinehurst Community Neighborhood Council in support of this. So I'm always very sensitive to the surrounding neighborhood and the neighbors, and the fact that they appear not to be opposing it but are supporting it. I think it really helps mitigate some of the other issues that we've discussed. I think that's important.
Thank you.
Can you all make sure your mics are on? I can
testing.
hear some of you well, but
Hello.
some of you I'm not able to hear very well.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that the board approve this request, that the criteria for this variance have been met, and that we approve the request subject to the comments of staff.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a great day.
There are no other items on the agenda today.
Fantastic.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're now adjourned.
So if one of us opposed it,